So now that it's been a couple weeks since I put the tree up, that's how long it took to finish decorating the drawing room, because you run out of time and you run out of patience these days, and it gets dark early. So yeah. Today, it's a Sunday. I'm taking the day off from everything else, so it's just decorating day, and today is really trees. We're starting with this tree. The theming behind this tree was I wanted simple. Last year when I did the Dark Academia tree, when everything was in the parlor, it was maximalist, which is not my strong suit. And last year you watched me decorate and undo and redecorate and undo and redecorate that tree. Today won't be like that, hopefully, because today's tree is all about simplicity. I did a lot of looking into a lot of research on how Victorian trees were decorated. In my research, it was not easy for me to determine how they were decorated. So I'm just, once again, kind of taking cues from some of the things that I saw, some of the things that I liked, and going with it. Now, this room, there's a lot going on in here in general. There are a lot of photos on the walls. There's a ton of garland. You can see some behind me. It's in the window. The foyer has a lot going in it as well. So I didn't want the tree to be this over-the-top distraction. The tree is just kind of a figure for the room, if you will. I'm glad that I am doing one of the things that I'm doing, because the lights on the tree are so bright that even with the garland and everything lit up at night, it's really bright right there. The first thing that I bought for this tree, that you can see in a lot of Victorian trees or olden days trees, so if you're gonna come at me and be like, well, that's not a Victorian thing, I don't care. Blow it out your ear. But they would do candles on the branches. So I found these guys. I thought the snowflake was fun. They sit on the branch, and then these are little battery-powered candles. So I've got a whole bunch of these. I might have 24 of these. Oh, I see cat puke on the floor. Merry Christmas. I'm gonna put these on the branches. They also, I'll link these below, but they come with a remote too, and the light is it's a nice glow. It's not too cool toned. It's a good orangey candlelight that flickers. These are gonna go on. I have just 2 strands of this. It's not white. It's kind of a natural wood, but maybe there's a white wash on it. But I only have 2 strands of this garland, so I'm hoping that's enough to kind of cheat the front of the tree, because it's with the tree in the corner. I don't necessarily have to go behind it, but we'll see how that works. I might have to go get more. I've got these mercury glass icicles that I've had for forever, and they've got, a little bit of glitter on them. And then there are 2 different sizes of these glass ornaments that I picked up that are all in shades of green, which goes with the drawing room theme. In the drawing room, I did not want much, if not any. I don't know how to say that. I really didn't want red. Obviously, there's a red candle behind me, and there's like a little red ceramic tree over there. I did not want red to be the pop-out color. I wanted the room to remain, it's color-drenched in green for a reason. I wanted this room to not be your typical Christmas of red and green. I thought that would be a little too cliche if I had predominantly green room with red pops everywhere. The red is elsewhere in the house. The foyer, which you guys will see tomorrow, maybe. I don't know when it is. That's got a bunch of like a garnet red or a berry red. It's around. I just don't want it in here. Let's figure this out. Let's see if I can do this and refrain from, or restrain myself from going too much on this tree. I have no idea what I'm doing for a tree topper. I do have some black velvet ribbon that I might make a bow and have it kind of cascading down. But we'll see, because no, I don't, because I used it all on the walls. Shit. We'll figure out a tree topper. I have no idea right now. We'll figure it out. But let's do this. Let's see. I think is it just one AAA? AAA makes me nervous because I feel like they wear out really fast. But I liked how kind of dainty. Oh, it is just one. Good. I like how dainty these are. There. That's not bad, really. Now, the question is, these are all from Halloween. This is how many batteries I have to use. And that's why, when I'm not filming stuff or not having people over, which I never have people over. So outside of the party and filming stuff, nothing is turned on for Halloween or Christmas, because I don't like wasting batteries. And always store your batteries out of the devices, because sometimes they start leaking stuff when the battery breaks. So anyway, that's that. I don't know if I have enough batteries. But I feel like you can just have it, you can have it just as a solid light for this, or the candle mode, right? That's how bright as it gets. You can dim it too, so that's kind of cool. Let's see how many batteries I have, and if I have to go and buy more, which will suck. Back from the grocery store. I had to get some groceries anyway, so I got batteries. This is the first time I purchased batteries outside of like Costco in a long time. They are expensive. Stupidly expensive. I know everything's getting more expensive, but like, come on. Now that I've got enough to light this tree the fuck up. You know, instead of using that white beaded garland, I've got a bunch of black beaded garland from last year. And I could probably use that too. Or, excuse me, I could use that instead because it kind of goes with what's going on in here. Oh shit. And then I do have more of the beigey camel velvet that's on the garland in this room. So I can use that, and it's gonna be like a very Hufflepuff tree. We can say it's like the Hufflepuff meets Slytherin room. But I'm not Slytherin. I'm technically Gryffindor. I should probably retake that test because I have nothing better to do with my time. Okay. This is all the black garland from last year. And I am going to do it because I'm using a black base, a black metal base for the tree to hide the stand. And I just feel like, you know, there's going to be a lot of white on the tree. But then there's also... Where does this end? Oh, they're linked together. That's why. But then with the green ornaments, and some of them are a bit darker, I just feel like it naturally kind of... It's not an ombre, but it naturally lends itself to having a darker garland. So we're going to start with this. You always start with your garland first. And I'm going to make it very drippy, just like the velvet that I did on the garlands that are on the windows and behind the TV. I'm trying to do this without having to pull the tree out. And I think I can. Thinking you can do something is half the battle, right? Because if you don't think you can, you might as well give up. And if we know me, to my own detriment, I never give up. Which is both charming and super annoying. Hello, get off of me. I know. What do you think? Yeah? Come on up here. What do you think? Oh, you got it. You did it. You gonna help decorate? Don't show your private parts to the audience. Why don't you stay right there, okay? Nope, he's out. Hold up. I don't know if you can see this because you probably can't see the bottom. Where the top of the peaks are, I'm trying to line that up with where the dips are underneath so that it's not too, you know, kind of, I don't know what the word would be. Repetitive? I don't know. And this is just the first pass. I'm going to go back and probably have to tighten all these up because there's not enough when I'm doing it this loosely. I know you want to watch. You're so helpful. Oh, I like this kind of staggered. So maybe I'm going to refashion that. A little bit more variety. It's a little less one note, right? You give me the best ideas. I will be damned if I go out and buy more effing garland, especially this color that I don't know, you know, when the next... It's a miracle I'm using it this year. I did not think I would be. I am okay with this. I'm gonna probably do another lap just to tighten it up a little bit because I want to get the beads a little bit closer to the top, and then I'm done with that. All right. We are moving on to candles. So if you're looking for like why I do things the order that I do, I feel that like garland, it's the thing that like you need to get it set in a position that it's not going to need to move, right? Everything else can move around it. Everything else is easily positionable, but a garland, when you put it on your tree, if you do it at the end, then you're navigating all the other ornaments, and then that risks the garland looking kind of crap, and yeah, that's why I do it that way. And some of you are probably like, yeah, no shit. I'm going to do these next because these are the next thing that I don't want to navigate around. I'm just going to start placing them. I think that's going to be great. I don't think I finished my thought earlier either that like, part of the reason for having these is that I can just have the candles on and not the tree lights because like I said, like the tree is very bright. And I think I'm gonna love these things. How they didn't burn their trees down back in the day, I do not know. You know, the cats for the most part, like they don't mess with anything, and I bet you this will be the one thing that they start screwing around with. Okay, so as I'm putzing with this, I think that the better way, rather than tip of the branches as I originally was doing, is to set them a little bit deeper in. That's my learning on this. Partly because they sit kind of wonky on these anyway. Also, I feel like if it's just a little bit closer to the tree, it just, I don't know, it looks, in person it looks awkward because they're all on the outside. That way I can also hook them over the wire or like through it, and it helps them to stabilize a little bit. So we'll do all on. How do they look without the tree lights on? Oh, it's pretty. Do I need to reposition any? I think they're fine. I'm gonna turn them off because, like I said, I am cheap and I don't want to waste batteries. The next thing to place, because continuing in the order of difficult things first, are these. And I'm realizing the tree might end up having this kind of linear vibe, and that's okay. I suppose that these are a good way of breaking up the lines that the candles make, since I obviously can't have candles everywhere, but this helps to, create the illusion of them being a little bit more scattered than they perhaps are. No, don't do that. So we actually kind of flew through this. So I'm going to put all the hooks on these other ornaments, and I used to have like fancy hooks for ornaments, and then I switched a couple years ago to like super cheap green wire ones, and I dropped one. I don't want to vacuum it up. Where did it go? Oh shit. It's gone and oh, right there. The reason that I like these better is because they absolutely disappear on the tree. And I know that's not something that everyone would want, because some people like to see, the hooks for the ornaments, because they might be decorative, or they might have a little something going on. But for me, I want the focus to be on the ornament, not the hook. I can tell you right now, next year when I use the candle things again, I'm not going to do it this year, and don't let me do it this year. I'm going to spray paint all that brass because it is just the shittiest looking brass. And it could be so much better next year. Project for next year. Yeah, I'm going to get all of the hooks on these things. I also like that you can like really twist it on there and know that it's not going to come off. I'm curious, how many of you use actual glass ornaments as opposed to plastic or shatterproof, as they call them? I am genuinely curious about that. Last year I used a bunch of the shatterproof and they were fine. The thing that bugs me about them is that they have that seam on them because they're plastic. That's the one thing that like I couldn't stop noticing. So I kept finding that I was turning ornaments every time I would catch one that was a little bit off. And I also know that not everyone is my level of OCD, so I'll just leave it there.